5 ways to work well from home during the COVID pandemic. Number 1. As much as possible, set aside designated space and times to work. Ideally, keep it outside of the bedroom, so your brain doesn't connect your bedroom to being alert and awake. And if your work is especially stressful, it'll be very important to have very clear distinctions between when you're working and when you're not, so that your brain can switch off when it needs to. One way to do this is by making a sign and putting it on the door when we're working and taking it off when we're not. Another option is to wear designated work clothes during working hours and to change out of them when we're done. Number 2. In order to optimize your productivity when you're working from home, it's helpful to minimize weapons of mass distraction. We can do this by turning off social media or email notifications and specify times to check on COVID or other news updates. And if you're working with kids in the home, it'll be important to pre-plan activities for them to do during crucial times. Number 3. If you're generally finding yourself stressed and distracted, it might be a good idea to play soothing music in the background while you work. Or if possible, you may want to use a Swiss ball as your chair, because the rhythmic bouncing motion that we usually do when sitting on a Swiss ball helps us feel grounded. Alternatively, take breaks to meditate, exercise or stretch, or do some sort of creative activity like coloring. Making time to connect with someone socially during our breaks can also enhance productivity because connecting with one another helps us feel settled. So if you have someone at home with you, then take a moment and say hello, or connect with someone via video chat or by telephone. Number 4, create an after-work routine. That may involve checking for updates in the news, or checking in with family and friends, followed by making dinner and exercising. Lastly, number 5, create a clear before-bed routine. Have it include some sort of enjoyable activity, like watching a favorite show, reading, watching a comic, or watching memes, doing some watercolor painting or knitting, any activity that brings you joy. And then maybe wrap your day up with something like a nice cup of tea and journaling about things that you're grateful for, or about lessons you learned that day, or things that you're proud of. And lastly, you might want to end your day with some form of meditation, like a progressive muscle relaxation. There are tons of them on YouTube for you to choose from. Or listen to soothing nature sounds. It's also important to remember that it's natural for us to not be quite as productive as we normally are during a period of high stress and during big transitions in your work environment. So don't forget to be compassionate with yourself through this transition. I hope this helps. Stay well, and remember, we're all in this together.